Tahseen Rana is a results-driven program management professional with over 16 years of experience in pharmaceutical biologics industry. She is passionate about strategic planning, regular tracking till closure, problem solving, conflict resolution by bringing diverse teams together to achieve organizational goals. Successful completion of complex and multiple development projects, the life cycle management projects, and supporting COGS improvement exercise for assigned program. And in addition to that, the strategic initiative accelerating biologics portfolio. She has demonstrated leadership skills in large matrix organizations with over 20 cross-functional teams and multiple global locations. And she facilitates decision making, influential communication at all levels, both written and verbal, as well as presentation skills up to CEO level. And she possesses excellent storytelling skills. So before we talk to her about the soft skills required for program managers, let us try to tickle her brain. And Tahseen, before we get into the episode, I'm going to ask a few random words, and probably you may respond to them by sharing what comes to your mind first without thinking much. If you're ready, let's get started.
I think yes.
Okay. Accomplishment.
Work done and satisfaction.
Animal.
Cat.
Age.
Experience.
Authentic.
Result driven.
Aroma.
Good smell around.
Ambitious.
Everybody should be ambitious.
Adventure.
Trekking.
Aura.
Some good vibes.
Admiration.
Shah Rukh Khan.
Angel.
Angel, my daughter.
Apex.
Not much that comes to my mind.
Fair enough. And thank you for being so fast. And it was great first rapid fire round. And folks, you have tuned into the Guiding Voice podcast series, TGV, the Guiding Voice for a Better Future. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, a fellow professional and a passionate learner on a mission to make the world a better place to live. And through the Guiding Voice, we drive conversations that matter and conversations that add value to your life and to your career. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Tahseen, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice. Thank you so much for being part of this show. And
Thank you, Naveen.
Before we get into the conversation, I would also like to take a moment to thank Deepika Trehan once again for the strategic collaboration on the TGV Corporate Diva series. And thank you, Deepika, the founder of Corporate Diva. Tahseen, maybe we'll get started, and probably you can talk about the success mantra, as in the top 3 things that have attributed to your success so far.
Top 3 things, then positive mindset, eagerness to learn, and hard work.
Super spot on. And now let's talk about the managing the programs. Can you share your experience in managing programs and how soft skills have played a role in your success?
See, just to add more talking about soft skills, I feel as a person, people have lots of soft skills, but it's habit. If you use those skills on daily basis, that helps you in achieving those, targeted goals in life. So everyone has those skills, but then it's regularly using or making the habit of using those. The first soft skill that is must for any program manager that I feel is a strategic thinking. Right? Anybody saying this is what we can do. So understanding better ways to reduce the timelines, the cost. This is one of the basic requirement for any program manager to have a strategic thinking. Then the next key skill that a person requires is the bringing synergy in cross-functional team. When you are working in a program team, you have at least 20 people in a team, right?
Yeah.
And these people have different temperament, these people have different background, and these people have different designations. And when it's a core team, it's most of the times they are higher in the designation than yours. So keeping everybody at the same level, bringing that momentum, it's very important. And this is something that a person cannot do just with the skill. They have to do it on a regular basis.
Also, what are the key soft skills that you believe are essential for program managers to possess?
I would categorize in two buckets. One is at a personal level, and then it's a interpersonal level. At a personal level, a person should be committed for any work. That if the person is starting a work, it should get completed. If they start working on some activity in the daytime, by the end of the day it should be completed, because we don't have a daily targets, right? So by end of the day your to do list gets should be completed. At
Yeah.
least I ensure that at least 90% is getting done at the end of the day. My checklist is getting done. And then the other thing that I feel is open mindedness, or the eyes to see the bigger picture. Because any program is like a puzzle, you have to fit everything in a correct slots,
Yeah.
right? So having that idea of bringing all pieces together and creating the bigger picture is something every program manager should have.
Hmm.
So not just taking you know treating
Yeah.
every piece differently, bring
Mhm.
everything together and create a bigger picture. Understand that why you are doing it.
Actually,
And then
today, yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. No, please go ahead.
No, today I came across one interesting picture, which was a painting of an elephant, and there were multiple people at various levels. Okay, if you were to divide that elephant portrait into, say, 9 grids, so one team is looking at the ears, and one team is looking at the trunk, and one team was looking at the tail part, and one thing was looking at stomach, and one thing at legs, forelegs and hind legs. So likewise, that post was intriguing because people get a chance to look at the confined perspective of the deliverables that they are working on, but they don't look at the big picture. So suddenly it struck my mind when you mentioned about this big picture part, and also,
That's where a program manager comes in picture, where the PM communicates to every those 9 people that bringing those pieces together and creating an image, final image is important.
hmm,
And why it is important is because the person PM should know that at a company level there are certain objectives that we need to deliver. There
yeah,
are company objectives, there are company goals that we need to meet at the end of the day, the impact that company wants to create, right? So
hmm,
those things, every company has their own set of goals, and definitely every person is creating impact in smaller or bigger way,
yeah,
right? How you fit yourself in that particular area is key to understand and communicate it to the person. So the first skill in interpersonal level is the communication. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, please go
hmm.
ahead. Then I'll just continue.
Yeah, on the communication part and active listening, I think these are the core skills at any level. So I'm curious to understand how communication and active listening skills are going to help the program managers.
So communication generally it is patiently listening first. Whenever there is any objective is defined or company decides that we will go ahead and develop this product, so bringing people together and understanding their perspective, understanding what do they think in terms of planning, in terms of strategy. So for me, first step comes is the strategy, understanding how they are, I mean why they are doing it, how they are doing it. And then comes the planning part. Communication definitely helps. If I am not able to understand my management's communication or the decision what they are saying, I won't be able to communicate it to the next level, to my cross functional teams. Generally communication plays important role in two ways. And as you said, active listening is key for any communication. First it starts with active listening. So if you are not able to listen to your management what they are saying, you will not be able to absorb it and you will not be able to communicate it. So it is flow. It has to happen in a flow.
Hmm.
So this is something for any program manager. This is a must to have, that active listening. And also it is not a one way. From team also you have to listen. So if a team is facing some challenges, if they have some deliverables by 15th of July, and if they are not able to deliver it, then they will come back to you and say, in a patient way you have to listen without getting aggressive, that no you have to deliver it, no. So first understand that what they are saying, why they are saying, and then you act, I mean in a good way you go and inform the management. Just don't take that information, communicate back to the management that 15th July deliverable is getting delayed because of so and so reason, whether it is impacting the critical path, not impacting the critical path. that also, that's where strategic thinking comes in picture, that a person who has understood the problem will evaluate the situation, and strategically they will inform the management as well.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yes.
in a way that everybody is aligned, and nobody is getting affected because of the issue that teams are facing.
Right. And a while ago, you mentioned about this interpersonal skills. So I'm curious.
Yeah.
Okay, if you and it would be great if you could provide some examples of how your interpersonal skills have helped you build strong relationships with stakeholders and team members. Because I'll tell you, based on my observation, in case if you are maintaining good rapport with your stakeholders and are able to meet or exceed their expectations, and every time they move to a new role or if they work on a new project, they want you to be the project or the program manager there, right? Likewise,
Yeah.
these kind of relations go a long way. And do you want to share
Yeah.
any of your examples how you successfully leverage your interpersonal skills?
Yes, definitely. I think, see, when I started as a program manager, first thing I did as a PM is I built the rapport, at least from from each team, one person, and I understood how the process works, and understand how what a person on daily basis is going through, if they have certain challenges, just to understand team in a better way. That helped me in a long run, understanding the team better. So I think that's where the emotional intelligence piece comes in, that you understand the team, you inform the team that, team, I am there in this situation. For example, I'll tell you the COVID situation, where most of the people, since we work in a pharma company, we were allowed to work at the plant. So people were going in the plant, and there were certain passes allotted, but then everybody had their own issues getting things done, uh, supporting them in a way that the work is not getting impacted, but they are getting everything, all the support that is required. So being there with them, be it on telephone call, so my I keep telling my team as well that you can call me anytime if there are issues. I'm reachable even at 11:30 in the night, 12 o'clock, or morning 5:30. I have spoken to the cross functional teams morning 5:30 as well. If I have to take some senior people on the call, I have taken people to resolve certain issues, because you can't stop the plant. If something is running, until the issue is sorted out, you can't stop, right? Because there are other things that is planned, and that keeps moving, so you have to continue. So I keep telling, so that's that kind of a rapport I had built with the teams, that anything that happens, please reach me out, don't keep it to yourself. So what happens in cross functional team most of the times, because they are not reporting to me, certain situations it gets reported to their managers, and they try to resolve it by themselves. Most of the people, they try to resolve it by themselves. um they will definitely, they are the people who will resolve it, but then it needs to be communicated also. If there is certain issue that needs to be communicated, and PM should be involved, is what
Yeah.
I feel.
Hmm.
That if certain things, because on, as I mentioned, the larger picture, critical path. So if the PM is not involved, they will, the person who is doing one particular activity, they will not understand how the domino effect will happen, right, to the next set of activities. So
Yeah.
that's why and that communication will not happen without the trust. If the
Mhm.
person is trusting you, then only they will inform you. So building the trust with open communication is extremely important when you are dealing with cross functional teams.
I concur with you. And at times, if you have good rapport, they do not follow that hierarchy or maybe the
Yeah.
formal procedure, and things will happen just like that because out of your
Yeah.
personal relation with those
Yes.
guys and personal rapport with those guys, right? Perfect.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the conflicts part. Like, how do you handle conflicts or disagreements within a program team, and what strategies do you employ to ensure that there are positive outcomes?
For when it comes to conflict, as I informed, when we have different teams, different temperaments, it's like dealing with joint family. I was born and brought up in a joint family, and how you deal in certain situations, the different hierarchies are there, different level of temperament are there, different people are there, they have emotions. So dealing with that, uh, first keeping the calm in the room is important. Then requesting each member that please calm down. We will have some options discussed. Then we will decide best option. So I think when you start talking that okay, I heard, but first we will understand what happened, what went wrong. For example, if something happens when cross functional deliverable is there, something wrong happens, then everybody start putting blame on each other.
Yeah.
Right? So how to resolve that issue? That time you have to bring everybody to same room, understand what went wrong, and then decide okay, which way to go, understand the options, if and then take it forward. I'm sure, I mean, you also might have seen that when people are coming together and stop blaming and start discussing, that's when conflicts start resolving.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these kind of things, and the way we have to handle, again, based on my experiences, we have to always work in the interest of the organization and in the interest of the project or the program success. Because the moment somebody worries about credit, okay, I'm doing this and somebody else is getting credit, then that's where there is a potential for conflicts to arise. So it is always better to have that open and candid or transparent communication, as you mentioned, and make sure that we don't step on each other's shoes and have that camaraderie established. Then we can definitely do wonders.
It's always like that, chak de India. Pehle desh ke liye khelo. So first think about the organization,
Right.
then think about the team, then think about yourself. It's always like that.
Yeah. Now comes my question on the leadership. Like, can you share an experience where your leadership skills were instrumental in driving the success of the program?
See, I'll tell you the two key skills that I feel that is always dominant in me is one is the strategic thinking, the other is the coaching. So whenever I prepare a plan, I ensure that everybody in the cross-functional team is, aware about what we are thinking, the flow of the work, how we are doing it, scope needs to be defined, everything needs to be crystal clear. So not only the spokes, the primary contact, but actual execution teams also gets coached in weekly meetings, or at least I ensure that some workshops are done so that people are at same level in terms of understanding overall program. So if you see a program in at least pharmaceutical drug development, or to be precise, biologics development, it runs for 5 years, 7 years. It starts from the cell banks to the launch. It takes almost 7 years, good 7 years or so. So keeping that momentum, sometimes there are downs, sometimes we achieve the milestone, sometimes there are failures in development. So dealing those situations and starting some things from the scratch, coming back to whiteboard, and keeping that momentum and keeping the teams motivated, I think that helps any program manager to succeed, and that helped me as well, that keeping the teams motivated. And everybody, if you see, they want the information that what is happening at top level, that doesn't get percolated to the down execution teams. So not everything is confidential information should be confidential, but the execution strategy, the simple technical things, how we are doing it, why we are doing it, these are simple things for any technical person to know. So this should be communicated in a cross-functional team so that everybody is motivated. Wow, we are doing this. We are doing this excellent molecule. This molecule will help people in getting the cost-effective medicine. It's a world-class medicine. So these things help teams in a longer way.
Yeah. I think you're selling the vision in terms of, okay, what happens if we succeed in this project? We'll be standing tall, and
exactly.
This is how we'll be making difference. I think, yeah, that makes sense.
That's where the communication plays an important role. That first understand the company's vision and then communicate it to the team that why you are doing this particular development work. Even an HPLC person should know that why he is doing that HPLC work. I mean,
What
in a
is
lab.
HPLC?
It's one of the instrument that we use for quality testing.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because
So,
we have global audience from different domains, so I thought it would help them understand. So have an
yeah. So it is
observation to
one
that.
of the. This is one of the instrument we use for the testing of the products.
Okay. Got it. Got it. And then we'll talk about the navigation of change, especially what I've noticed in some major programs. Some program manager comes in and they lead the program to a certain extent. And after that, they get a better opportunity inside or outside and they leave. And
Mhm.
team members who have been working, right? If the
Mhm.
change happens once or twice, it is okay. But if the change happens frequently, then they'll be bombarded, right? So how do we help the team to adapt to the new circumstances, especially when the new program manager takes over and they might come up with a different strategy altogether?
So, first, if the program manager is new, he or she should understand that they are new. It is like you are getting married in a new family, and the person should understand. I am a woman, and I know. So I'm saying, so they should understand that they are new, and they have to put efforts to understand the team and to
Mm,
understand the way of working,
mm,
what previous manager has done. First, if they understand that, then the scope of improvement or change will definitely help. For example, I'll tell you, the previous
mm,
manager was conducting daily one meeting for 15 minutes. Okay,
mm,
this person is saying no, I cannot do it, but then the people who are working, they're habituated of this 15 minutes connect, right? So they want to connect on a regular basis. So this person has to first understand, join some calls, and say that okay, these daily calls are not effective, so rather than let's meet on a weekly basis, something like that. It navigating through is, again, it depends on, if the program manager is joining, he or she has to put the efforts. But if the new person is joining, then it's not only program manager but the entire cross functional team has to put the efforts to make the person familiarize with overall concepts, what we are doing, and the overall program idea.
yeah. So we are in the world of artificial intelligence, but emotional intelligence takes or plays a critical role. So this question is more
Yeah.
on the importance of emotional intelligence in the program management and how it impacts our decision making process.
Again, it depends on which situation we are taking the decision. So I'll come to the decision making little later. Simple things, emotional intelligence helps. Right, when we were discussing initially regarding the deliverables, I was saying that a person should understand that this person is coming and informing you some information. The trust is not getting disturbed, but the communication is going uh, in a way that it should go. So emotional intelligence plays an important role, that the trust is not broken, but the communication is flowing to the management.
Mhm.
So and not only there, for example, a person has some family emergency or something, but the person is committed. You have to take a call that whether the person should work from home, from some other place, and continue to the work, or the person should be in office. So those kind of a decision, I think it depends on the situation, but that's where the emotional intelligence will help any manager, not only the program manager but any people manager, that the person, how to treat the situation in a way that relations are not getting impacted.
Hmm. And this has been great conversation. Let's add some more spice to the episode. I'm going to kick off this second rapid fire round. All you have to do is answer crisply to the interesting questions that I'm going to bring up. If you are ready, let's get started.
All right.
Okay. Here comes the first bullet. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Life is beautiful.
So powerful. And if you were to live somebody else's life, who would you choose?
I would choose Sudha Murthy.
And can you describe yourself in just one word?
Optimistic.
What is the weirdest thing that you have ever eaten?
Nothing. I'm very choosy person when it comes to eating, and I don't take risk when it comes to eating.
Fair enough, just like me. Okay, and then any secret that you'd like to share with our audience?
I think secrets are kept to be meant to be kept secret. I don't have
Okay.
any secret.
Okay, then here comes the bonus question. Like, if you win a $1 billion lottery, what would you do with that money?
I think I would invest in an industry which would impact human society in a better way or in a positive way, and
Mhm.
I would consider the larger population,
Okay.
not just the cherry picking, but
Mhm.
I really want to contribute where I can create a bigger impact on this earth till I'm alive. So
Super. And I honestly and genuinely wish you win $1 billion
thank
lottery because you are working for a cause. And that brings me
thank
to
you.
the that brings me to the last question out of rapid fire round. And what will be the fantasy gadget or a technology gadget or an electronic gadget that you would like to see or invent yourself?
Trust me, from the time I started working, or from even my early age, I'm a person who was always in a fantasy world. Okay, and I always felt that technology will can help me in getting those things done. For example, this Microsoft Office tools, the audio to translation or the
Yeah.
transliteration, the typing work. So it, as soon as I used to think that if I say something, it gets typed, it helped me so much. So I used to fantasize those kind of things. Now I see those things coming alive. The automatic cars, I don't have to drive, but I just sit and then it drops me where I want to drop. So similarly, today, I mean, this is something I had seen in actual my dream, that a microwave, uh, if I set up some things, I program a recipe there. If I type a recipe there, my mom's recipe, I put everything in that. It gives me the exact same taste that my mom used to make.
Mm.
So something like that.
A dream for everyone.
So no, I am foodie, and as I said, I'm cherry picking when it comes to foodie, and I don't take risk. So I love what my mom used to cook. Unfortunately, she is not around. We lost her a few years back, but today I feel that if I cannot cook the food how she used to cook.
Mm.
She was the best chef,
Mm.
around us. So I feel that she had written recipes, a lot of
Mm.
recipes. So I feel that if I you know just scan those recipes and put everything together in the measurements that she has given, and just it gives me the the dish, ready-made dish.
Yes. Awesome. I loved it. And with that, let's flip back to the mainstream. And what will be your advice to those aspiring to make big in their careers?
So big doesn't happen overnight. You have to put a lot of commitment, hard work, and don't worry about the path. Just go ahead with the flow. And sometimes the path gets carved, or be so much intellectual that don't create your own path. So I always tell most of the graduates or the 12th standard students, recently so many 12th standard kids, they got the results and they were asking which field to choose, which will give me the bigger better career options. So I just say that you start first, choose the subjects which are easy for you. Just
Mm.
because everybody is doing engineering, don't go for engineering.
Yeah.
Just because everybody is doing biotech, don't go for biotech. Choose the subjects which are easy for you, perform well in those subjects, and start the career. You can navigate any time in your career, you can carve your own path. I wanted to be a doctor, but today I am into completely different team. I work with a doctor and I respect, but then I feel this is the best career for me, because I'm a person who brings the synergy into the team. And
Mhm.
I feel maybe that's the reason I couldn't become a doctor, and I landed here somehow with some different paths. I landed here, and
Mm.
I love to continue this path. But
Super.
that's what. So everyone's career is different. Everyone's life is different. Carving it at the right time is important.
I think you have highlighted one key point in terms of avoiding that herd mentality and maybe mimicking somebody else's career path rather. I think that may not work, right? Mimicking somebody else's path, and we have to choose our own path and get into something which works best for us. And sometimes, as you said, you initially wanted to be a doctor, but you ended up a being a program manager, right? If it is in our destiny, and later on also you still are maintaining that positive and optimistic mindset, and you're trying to connect those dots, right? That is also essential at
Still,
times.
yeah, I'm still trying to connect those dots.
Okay, got it. And yeah, before I let you go, how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice?
Excellent. And trust me, I admire your humbleness, your patience and resilience. I honestly admire you for these key skills that you have.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, that is very much essential in this field, because I get an opportunity to speak to people from different countries, different domains, and everybody is different. And I'm getting patient day by day. That's what I can say. But yeah, thank you so much for those kind words, and also thank you so much for being part of the journey. I really appreciate all the wonderful insights that you have shared, and also the wonderful time that you have spent on the show. And really looking forward to many more sessions in future. And on that note, again, thank you once again, Deepika. Thanks for proposing Tahseen as a guest.
And thank you, Deepika, for suggesting me to, connect with Naveen. And it's excellent to connect with Naveen and you showcase or inform the audience my ideas and some mantras of program management, some tips through this guiding voice channel.
All right. So thank you so much. And friends, that was our episode with Tahseen Rana. And before we move into the trivia section, here is a request to you. Please subscribe to us in case if you haven't done already. Also, if you have loved this episode and found the conversation useful, please share with at least three of your friends or colleagues who can benefit from the guiding us. Thanks much in advance. Now, let's hop into the trivia segment of today's episode. I think we had a wonderful conversation with Tahseen on the soft skills and other skills that are required for program managers. And I thought I would present you some information about program management certification. You know, the PGMP, right, which stands for Program Management Professional. PGMP certification is a globally recognized credential for program managers, and it is offered by the PMI, the Project Management Institute, which is a leading professional association for project management apart from Princeton. And the PGMP certification is designed for experienced program managers who have a proven track record of managing multiple related projects and achieving strategic objectives. And you know, the eligibility for the PGMP certification, candidates must have a minimum of 4 years of project management experience and 4 years of program management experience, along with a secondary degree, or 6 years of project management experience and 6 years of program management experience with a 4 year degree. And last but not the least, many a times people opt for PMP first and then go for PGMP and then embark on PFMP, which is Portfolio Management Professionals. And we have done an interview on PMP related certifications with PS Srinivasan Pavanasan, and you can check out his episode. I'm going to publish the details of that episode in the show notes or the description, and I think it would be extremely helpful for you. And I'm also curious about program management because I've been in this profession for quite a long time. And that brings us to the end of this episode. And folks, in case if you have any best practices related to program management, be it from the project or program management perspective or from the soft skill perspective, please feel free to share your thoughts as well as comments if you're watching it on YouTube, or if you have found this episode on a social media platform, leave your comments there. I would be happy to review them and also adapt them as a best practice. And thank you so much for tuning in. Do not forget to share your topic recommendations or guest speaker suggestions either through social media, or you can email me at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. I'm your host, Ravin Samala, a fellow professional and a passionate learner on a mission to make the world a better place to live through the conversations that matter and conversations that add value to your life and to your career. Thank you so much. And until next time, bye. Until next time, bye bye. See you all in the next episode with another wonderful guest. Take care.